had a lot of challenges due to COVID and being outside. Stabilize that. But so there's been some displays, there's been some reconfiguration of how we usually do this, but I think it's nice to finally be able to welcome everybody to the Crystal Award ceremony. I'm going to step back for a second and let our mayor have a few words. I'm going to step back and hold the sign for you.
And I'm gonna ask really quick before I get into my prepared comments, we can give the staff kind of a round of applause. They have the job right now adjusting to the new situations, and this is an extremely important event. And the fact they put a priority on it and put it together, I think it's really so I was thinking about what to write for this. Especially given everything that's going on, and I wanted to stick to a pretty strict timeline because we do have one here, and I want to not bore everybody by talking for a good amount of time. So I'm going to start by saying, in these unprecedented times, whether that be in East Lansing or honestly in the country in general, I have always had faith that this community would continue to step up. Without fail, this community always steps up. These awards recognize people who have made an outstanding contribution to East Lansing, and I can safely say that we have never been short on people who deserve that honor. Now, as I step into my new role, I know full well that we have a city of passionate, driven, and truly caring people. We face some of East Lansing's probably biggest challenges, and we have been for some time now. And whether it's figuring out how to get students safely to school, being an active business owner, devoting oneself to making the community a beautiful place through art, advocating strongly for policies, and stepping up to serve and stand by your convictions, or just making sure your neighborhood always has a voice and a seat at the table. We need people like these folks pushing us in the right direction. So I'm proud to be part of this community, and I'm even prouder every time I hear someone else's name who stepped up when it was needed most. And that's what I love about these awards. Not only do we know that people make a difference here, but we want to recognize it and solidify our gratitude for it. It provides me comfort that when I say we should get some public input or there's a call to action within the community, good people will always put themselves in the front line to help. To have people like this in our community is not a norm. We are the lucky ones. We are so lucky. So I will thank you. I'll thank you to our nominees and every unsung hero in our community that steps up every day to make this community the great place that it is. So thanks for having me here, and God bless you all.
Yeah. Thank you, Erin. I'm glad you mentioned neighborhoods, because as we get into our awards, we'll see that that's a strong theme with our honorees this year. We are excited to honor these 4 individuals. Each one of these people has contributed extensively to East Lansing's quality of life. But before I get into the exciting part where we honor our honorees, I'd like to introduce the members of the selection committee. I see that Gary is here. Jeff Pinsler, who it looks like maybe couldn't make it today, Patricia Robinson, and Gary Budine and myself were the ones that had very difficult tasks of sorting through the nominations. I can't remember how many it was. There was a good list to choose from, and it was a very difficult decision. As Erin mentioned, we have a community full of amazing people. So as I call your work name, we'd like to get a photo of you of the honorees. So just pause for a second with your award so that we can get that photo, and then everyone, all of the honorees are welcome to say words after they accept the award. And then we are going to try to do a group photo, but it's going to be in the time of COVID group photo, so it will be a socially distanced group photo. I feel like we're going to look back on 2020 and we're never going to have to date those photos because everyone's going to have a mask on. So, and we'll all be sitting apart from each other. So without any further ado, I would like to honor our award winners this year. kind of in no particular order, we'll start with Conrad Pittner. Conrad has been an actively engaged in community for many years. He served on the Zoning Board of Appeals. He's been the chair of the Transportation Commission. He's now the former chair and now currently vice chair of the Village Community Association. And he's also served on our census committee, leadership roles within the Bailey Community Center, the rentals for the Orchard Street Pump Pump. This is just like a list of how great you are. Neighborhood events and fundraisers, ice cream socials, luminary sales, streamlined the association's meeting, switched the neighborhood newsletter to email, saving our planet from paper. Summary, dedicated, hardworking, and we are very pleased to honor you, Conrad, this year. If you want to come forward and take your cup, I'm not going to pass it to you because we're not touching things. But more of Aaron is here too. Yes, we'll bring you back for our social distance group photo. Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna get embarrassed talking about how great our community is and what amazing activities we have. So on to the next one then. Megan is a self-described art lover, news junkie, and devotee of all things Michigan. I know that about you. I served as an art commission for a couple of years. Things that people mentioned in their nomination: engaged citizen, good neighbor, community leader, goodwill ambassador, relentlessly positive and welcoming. I can attest to that. Master of social media, promotes what she loves and attends in real time, whether it's Wharton Center performances, MSU basketball, a gallery opening, or a call for artists for the Wisconsin Art Festival. After purchasing a home in the Glen Fern neighborhood, Holland immediately became active in her neighborhood association, where she currently serves as the secretary. Neighborhoods is the theme today, I feel like. Emerging Leaders Program, East Lansing Police Department, Citizens Police Academy. You're appointed to the Arts Commission where you serve as vice chair. On the board of the Capital Region Community Association of the MSU's International Newcomer Mentoring Program. Presenter and panel moderator for the Summer Solstice Jazz Festival and the Great Lakes Folk Festival. A model community member who participates in community events not only by her presence, but also with her financial support. She has embraced East Lansing as her community and is continually promoting and supporting and participating in what the city has to offer. You make East Lansing a better place. Maybe you want to say something?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I kicked you off, but if you have that,
Do you have
something to say, I'll bring you back.
Yeah.
I'll go on. Sorry, I forgot the flow of the event. Rewind a little bit.
Hold on 3 minutes and COVID mask and keep,
Yeah.
I can keep it there. I really do have a number of thank yous to make. First and foremost, to Wendy Rowland, who was gracious enough to nominate me.
Susan.
All right, don't want to short credit anybody. I have to tell you, 8 years ago, when I look back at the records, I was part of the committee that awarded these Crystal Awards. The enduring impression from that were obviously the high quality of the folks whose volunteer efforts were being recognized, but also the high level of advocacy that was required by the nominees to get awards made to the people who actually won. So it's a real credit to Wendy and to Susan for having done this. So thank you so much. Also need to thank my lovely spouse, Zed, who's a forward in the jazz economy is made by avocation and volunteerism feasible, and her support for all the absences and times away from family stuff has made it doable. Last, all the committee members, task force folks, city staff, etc., that I've worked with over time. I appreciate all the work that you've done, your tolerance of my input, and your willingness, at least on a fairly regular basis, to come back and ask for more. It's been fun and committed to everyone. So thank you so much.
Yay!
Conrad, I'm impressed. I need notes. I'm like, and this award is so special. I mean, I'm not a person who typically gets awards. So, but in fact, the last time I got an award was 2014. I had been a journalist for more than 30 years, mostly with MLive and its previous iteration Booth newspapers, but I had never personally won a professional award. But the year before, I had covered a massive forest fire, the Duck Lake Fire in the Upper Peninsula. And lo and behold, the Michigan Associated Press media editors gave me a first place award for this coverage. 6 months later, I was laid off from my job. So I look at this award and I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. I hope not to be run out of town. So, but seriously, I am so glad I moved to East Lansing. We've had a little turmoil lately, but there's no doubt in my mind that there are so many effective people working on behalf of the city whom I greatly admire, including Mayor Stevens and Mayor Pro Tem Greg. And then there's my incredible neighborhood that is represented tonight by Roger and Justine Peters. When the pandemic began, my Rosewood neighbors started meeting at 5:30 p.m. every day just to check in with each other. And we have kept that up to this day, which I think is extraordinary. And then there's Karen and Jerry Jennings, previous Crystal Award winners. And I thank you so much for nominating me. You have no idea how honored I am. And I also want to thank the Crystal Awards judges and all the staff that put this together, and all the city officials who I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the years. Tim, just a lot of great people. And it all started when I first moved to town. I got involved in the Emerging Leaders Program, and then the Citizen Police Academy. That led to the East Lansing Arts Commission, where Wendy Longpre has been a joy to work with. She's an incredibly dedicated city staffer, and I just love her. Yeah, it's really hard too. Yeah. And lastly, thanks to all of you. You would not be here if you were not engaged in your city. So next Tuesday, let's all remember, if we haven't done it already, let's go out and vote and keep our democracy strong. Thank you.
Wait for friends to turn me and make it just a little bit. I feel so bad that I cut you off, Conrad. Look, I've got the flow now. We're going with it. I'm gonna be smoother. So moving on and continuing this theme of neighborhood, which I think anybody that's lived in East Lansing for any amount of time, young or will, have aged here, I think we all recognize that our neighborhoods are just such a part of this community. And really having good organizers in those neighborhoods is part of what just brings that to the table. So our next honoree is a longtime engaged citizen, Ralph Monsma. Again, just a laundry list of wonderful qualities. I'll try to get through some of your achievements here. Past city council member, who served for many years in the Pinecrest Neighborhood Association, the Capital Area Transportation Authority for more than 35 years. Previously served on the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission, continues to work for the Salvation Army's Pathway of Hope, which serves ex-offenders returned to their community. Through his involvement with the Pathway of Hope, Monsma has been a mentor to individuals helping to obtain IDs, housing, and employment. Monsma keeps a finger on the pulse of the city of East Lansing and readily shares his knowledge of the rich history of East Lansing with other community members. He is dedicated to improving the community and has become a go-to guy for many in the Pinecrest neighborhood. One of his nominators noticed that Monsma is not the one up front taking credit or making headlines. He is working tirelessly behind the scenes on things that he cares deeply about. So Ralph, please come up and accept your award, and then I will step back so that you can say a few words.
So people can tell that we're smiling under that.
Yeah. And if you would like to say a few words.
I also need a set of notes. And I will skip some of this because it was covered in the previous presentation. First thing I want to do is say thank you to the city of East Lansing. And that includes the whole process. I started involvement with the city way back in 73 or 72 when I first started going to the city council and the planning commission as a person who lived in the Bailey Community Association. And I was the Bailey president for a couple of years, way back. Then I want to say it's been a joy. Sharon and I have been here for 48 years. And during that time, we never really lost track of all of the city. Started with the Bailey Neighborhood Association, went on the East Lansing Planning Commission, then the Pinecrest Neighborhood Association, East Lansing City Council for a number of years. And then we had the Planning Commission, the Tri-County Capital Transit, I was on the Ingham County Recreation and Parks Board also. What I wanted to do mainly was to bring a couple of pieces together just for the time right now. We've got to pay attention, we got to stay involved and not lose track of our neighbors, not lose track of the council, not lose track of what's going on in Washington. People should be encouragers. They should, where there's an opportunity, and this is the thing that I always have to learn because sometimes I'm not a good encourager, but the more you are an encourager, the better things are. And you should listen. You need to be able to understand what's going on. Wear a mask, practice social distancing, join and participate in your neighborhood association. That connection is very important, and keep track of your neighbors. And with that, thank you very much again. Especially when you talk to the people from Pinecrest that nominated me. Oh, excuse me, right? She was here right off the bat. Okay. That's Abby Tycutt. And she also just recently joined the neighborhood and she went to the emerging league. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. And thank you for your commitment to East Lansing over the years. Our last and our final honoree is Ginger Ogilvy. Ginger moved to East Lansing with her family about 15 years ago and has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to make the community a better place to live. With a focus on improving safety for school children who walk and bike, Ogilvy has stepped up to dedicate countless hours to volunteer time with the Safe Routes to School program in East Lansing. This work has included previous and ongoing efforts to secure grants for infrastructure improvements and non-infrastructure resources, helping to make walk to school and bike to school days for the East Lansing Public Schools a success, which I've participated in those as a part of our neighborhood, always very well attended. Working to provide important educational opportunities for ELPS students about biking and walking safety. Additionally, as a resident of the South Marble neighborhood, one of Ginger's first big projects in East Lansing was to work alongside the East Lansing staff to plan and raise community funds for the conversion of a small parcel of city-owned land in the pocket park known today as Hidden River Park, which is in the South Marble neighborhood. Southeast Marble neighborhood. Oh, it's a very sweet little, yeah. There's evidence of Ginger's hard work all around East Lansing, from the Hidden River Park to the thriving Southeast Marble Community Facebook page that she moderates, and much more. As soon as she started her own business, she also started donating gift certificates for her services to school auctions and other charitable events. Everything Ginger does is in service to other people. She has a unique ability to be an effective leader in pushing projects forward, but in a way that is deeply rooted in compassion and kindness. Please come up and accept your award. And would you like to stay here? Even though I had time to prepare for this, it's still, I still feel very surprised, particularly seeing the company that I'm in today, people that I have admired and respected for some time. I just want to say it's truly an honor. I'm very humbled to be included in the ranks of so many other people who have this award. I have to admit, it feels really strange to be here by myself because I've made it a point to work with other people in whatever it is that I do. Everything comes down to relationships, and the friendships that I've made along the way have been really rewarding for me. And I'm so grateful for the connections that I've been able to develop with our school associations and neighborhood associations, and particularly city staffing. And Wendy's behind me, and I've developed some great relationships with people in Parks and Rec and DPW, as well as ELPD and PACE. And just, I can't tell you how impressed I am with everyone that I've connected with through the city. I also appreciate city staff's patience with me as I've been learning the ropes. I was honored to be part of the first group of emerging leaders program here, and I just think it's an excellent program. And so anyway, I just want to convey that I'm here not just for myself, but all the other people that I've worked with along the way. Wanted to thank in particular my husband Bill and my kids, Drake and Aya, who have been incredibly patient and supportive with everything that I do. I'm often gone for meetings, and I'm often saying just a second while I finish this one last email. We've heard that so many times. So yeah, anything that people do out in the community, there's always, that takes time away from other relationships. So I appreciate their support. I feel that I'm not really here by accident. I grew up in a community that strongly supports community service, and I feel that this community is very much the same. I also engaged with AmeriCorps after college, and that has definitely cemented my commitment to a lifetime of service, that it's more of a lifestyle than anything else. And I learned a lot through those experiences. I'm also very grateful to my parents who have been models of being helpers and people who find ways to be selfless and to give to other people. They're the ones who taught me, because we're all gardeners in my family, to bloom where you were planted, and to leave every place better than how you found it. And that's how I've tried to operate throughout my life, wherever I've landed. So again, I've learned so much, and I appreciate people's patience with me while I've been learning, and I'm excited to see what we will be accomplishing together in the future. So thank you so much. Well, thank you to all of our nominators and all of our nominees and everyone who's tuned in on the live stream to honor these dedicated public servants. I think that's not an inaccurate way to describe them. just want to also point out to everyone that we're already accepting nominations for next year's Crystal Awards, and I think we've kind of seen a demonstration of how many amazing people are working to make our community better, either in front of or behind the scenes. So if this has sparked anything in your mind and maybe think of somebody, consider nominating them for next year. Those forms are available on our website at the City of East Lansing /Crystal Awards, so that should be pretty easy to find. We're going to do one last little socially distanced mass photograph with our winners. I think maybe up against the door and the shade might be nice with that in the background. If you guys could meet me over there, you can leave your bring bouquets. Bring any props that you feel are necessary. Yeah.
Thank you, God. Right?